All right, Jake. University of Miami. In trouble again.
Not like any of these other allegations that Ohio State and USC had. This is major.
Well, Ohio State and USC, what they did was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all punishable. But what Miami's done is it's brought back something that hadn't happened since SMU in '87. It's called the death penalty. And basically, it can really destroy a program. I don't think if they do impose it, that it'll destroy Miami like it did SMU, because Miami's Miami.
Yeah.
Guys are going to go to the U. They stop the program for 1 year, kill a bunch of scholarships, whatever. There's ways around it. But the bottom line is my thing is they got busted in '95, and then they got busted in 2003, and this Shapiro has been associated with the program since 2002. I think it was actually it might have been 2001.
For 10 years.
And that means that while they were getting punished for the last one, they were still breaking the rules and doing this thing, and that's what's really pissing the NCAA off. Is it's a big FU, that the University of Miami has, and you asked me before we came on, if you asked me, and I think they're going to get slammed. I think they're going to get the death penalty, and I think it's deservedly so. And unfortunately, I feel bad for the coach. The guy comes from Temple.
Yeah.
It's a dream job at the University of Miami, and this is what happens. And there's guys like Shapiro everywhere, and some are more prominent than others, and they're all slime balls. But the coaches, the administrators, the players, everybody knows what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
And a lot of them turn their head. I mean, the bottom line is winning. It's not Charlie Sheen. But the bottom line is winning. And the more you win, the more money, the more revenue you bring into the school. And that's what matters. That's all that matters to these big-time programs. And to the NCAA itself. I mean, Ohio State should be hammered, and they're not. And USC should be hammered, and thankfully they're not. USC got pounded pretty hard.
Yeah.
But
and there's one thing, there's a guy on the panel that did with the USC.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
He's on the panel with this one too, and he slammed USC hard.
Hard.
He was the one of the bigger advocates for slamming USC the way he did. And this whole Miami thing, it was hard for them to at first, try to get the things they needed to get, because there's a statute of limitations. It was 4 years.
Yeah.
And he's been going on from 01, 02. But the NCAA has a willful violators rule. They can look past the 4-year statute of limitations. They can interview whoever they want.
Well, they're repeat violators, and they're repeat violators in 2003.
Yeah.
So while they were repeat violators, they were still just not caring and breaking the law. I mean, the University of Miami has never been one to have academic All-Americans and Rhodes Scholars go to their school.
Yeah.
They're a football program and a baseball program. They've always had top-notch athletic programs, and they put. There was a time where the first round of the NFL draft you were guaranteed 3 or 4 Hurricanes, and
you go off for days about the players for the last 10 years who've come out.
Yeah, you can put together 22 guys, offense and defense of guys that went to the U that are Pro Bowlers, and you got some Hall of Famers. You got 2 on the Ravens alone that are Hall of Famers, and but it's bad for college sports. I mean, we sit here, we deal as fans, we deal with lockouts, we deal with strikes, we deal with holdouts from these pampered, overpaid athletes. We deal with so much stuff as fans where we pay our hard-earned money to get DirecTV or the NBA League Pass, or we pay money
to go to the actual games,
or we pay money to go to the games. Where at Dallas Cowboys Stadium, it's $60 just to freaking park there. It's before you even walk in the door, you're dropping $60. And so we pay all this money to go see our teams, and we deal as fans. And some people are a little more fanatical about it than others are, but. I'd be pissed off if I didn't have football. You know what I mean? From September to January, that's what we do every Sunday and Monday. It's football.
Yeah.
And it's an American institution, man. It's like, so we almost had to deal with them losing that. But to me, I always said, the one thing as a sports fan that we have the one thing that we can always lean on is college sports. And
you got stuff like this.
College sports is in bad
It's not just
shape.
football either.
No, it's
Basketball too, but this is beyond some of the things that have happened. And this guy's, man, this school, if they get hit the death penalty, it's good and bad. With the way I look at it, I mean, it's bad where they had to bring the death penalty back, and they had to hit a school with a death penalty because of the allegations. And then it's good for me in another sense where I'm like, okay, maybe this will show some of the other schools like
It has to.
Like, all right, look, this isn't a game anymore. And if they're gonna hit death penalty, it's not just like Temple or something. It's the University of Miami.
No, exactly. And I mean, and mind you, they haven't laid down the punishment on Ohio State yet either. So
No.
we'll see. But USC had no postseason for 2 years, lost a ton of scholarships, and that was really excuse me, heartburn. But that was really it was Reggie Bush and Pete Carroll knew what the hell was going
That's
on.
why he went to the NFL.
But it was Reggie Bush, and one player took down a whole program. And
This has been more than one or two.
this is the whole institution of the University of Miami because in 2000, what they got busted for in 2003 was baseball. It wasn't even that's right there. It wasn't even the other side. Yeah, it wasn't even the football program. Albeit, God knows what they've done. I mean, it started back with Jimmy Johnson, and he wanted them to act like thugs. Everybody thought it was them as thugs, and they relished in that, and they played that role. And I mean, in all honesty, most of the guys that went there were thugs.
And we can make that argument too. And there's one thing that I don't think a lot of people know, that it stretches further out than just Miami, because there's coaches at other schools that have been attached to Miami during.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, in big school, Louisville, Kansas State, Bama. I can't think of the other ones off the top of my head, but I mean, it stretches out further to 4 or 5 of those schools. They're not going to get the death penalty, but they're going to get slammed hard too, just because a coach or two were part of something they didn't be a part of.
Look what my basketball team, the Hoosiers, what Kelvin Sampson did, and Tom Crean is having to pick up those pieces of a squeaky clean program. The 29 years Bob Knight was there, they never had nothing even come close to that. And you don't have to do that. You don't have to cheat to win. It's not winning at all costs, because I will use Bob Knight as an example. In 29 years at Indiana, he won 3 championships and graduated 97% of his players. And not one time was the NCAA looking down on him for doing something shady. They looked down on him because he choked a player or cussed out a referee or whatever. But, the guy ran a 100% squeaky clean program. I thought Coach K did up until a couple months ago. He had been questioned over talking to a recruit at a Nike All-Star tournament or whatever.
There's a lot more to it. I have to get into that.
Yeah, but then again, it's Coach K, and they'll do whatever they can to kind of make sure he doesn't get in trouble. That's Duke, but that's a whole other day. But no, I mean, what Miami's done is like I said, it's a big middle finger to the NCAA, and they need to put their foot down and let okay, I'm a parent of athletes. You were an athlete in high school. Now I have Lucas and Jonathan, and I'm looking at saying, if my kids are good enough to go to college, am I where do I want my son to go? And I sit there and look. Okay, we have TCU, which actually is more a bigger program. Yeah. But I'll say we have TCU, which who knows what they're going to do. But I have the U, which they're national TV every week. They pump out NFL players. They're getting better now. They're getting back up to prominence, and where they're challenging for conference titles and playing in big time bowl games. Yeah. Do I want my son to go there with the risk of what's going on, or would I take the safe bet and go to TCU? I'm going to TCU, and and as a parent, that's what I'm looking at. I don't want my kid to go somewhere where he doesn't have to go to class, where a guy's getting him hookers, where a guy's giving him alcohol and getting a girl an abortion. I mean, this dude has just done just the worst things you can possibly do. He's like the devil, man, with money. And it's just, it blows my mind. And I'm all for it.
I can see it from, I can't, but as, from your perspective as a parent. But just as a fan in general, I think the NCAA needs to prove a point. Like, they just hit schools. Like, all right, 2 years ban this, blah, blah, blah. They need to hit Miami hard. And the death penalty is going to show a lot of schools, like, they need to crack down on what they do. Like Ohio State and USC, for example. Mm-hmm. Those 2 schools see Miami get hit with the death penalty, like, all right, we need to cut down on this, and just pay attention. It's USC, Ohio State, Miami are going to get recruits the right way. They can get recruits the right way. People
It's
want to
a
go to
name,
those schools.
a name alone. Exactly. I mean, Kentucky basketball got hit really hard in the 80s before Pitino took over. And his first couple of years there, people don't remember, or people tend to forget, that they were 15-13, 16-12. They were nothing. It took him a couple of years to build that program back up because they got hammered. So you can revive a program with the right coaching, the right athletic directors, the right people in place, and you can do it. But they need, I am all for 100%. If I was on the board, I would say death penalty.
I mean, I know how hard it is.
No questions asked.
To, impose such a huge punishment. You know what I mean? Last time that happened, it ruined. It ruined them.
They're a disgrace to college sports right now. What they're doing, it's a disgrace to everything that we find pure about college sports because it's not pure anymore. I mean, we've been talking. You hear talks for the last couple of years. Should they pay athletes endorsement? No, they shouldn't pay them endorsements. They're giving them a freaking free education, man. That's paying them right there. So I mean, no, absolutely not. They're collegiate student athletes.
Student comes first.
That's what they are. They're student athletes. And I'm not stupid. Well, I know that some are just athletes. But, they're getting a free education. Whether they want to use it or not, it's up to them. But that's their pay. But, I can sit here and talk hours about this too. But to sum this up on my side, 100% for the death penalty, slam the University of Miami. I don't care if it was USC. I'm a USC fan. And they were doing this. I'd say I wouldn't be begging for it, but I'd understand. I'd say absolutely. That's what they deserve.
I think
somebody has to finally learn a lesson because they obviously didn't learn from SMU's mistakes.
And I think the perfect school would be this one. For years Miami was number 1 or 2 in the country for years, and they had talent up and down the roster. And if you hit a school like that, it's not like they're hitting like Texas,
Temple. Or even Texas Tech was D1, but we're talking. You can go. They're not hitting Nevada, Reno, or UNLV got hammered pretty hard too.
It's not. And no one pays attention to those lowers. But you hit Miami, you hear Miami, and you think, oh wow,
it's the U, man. I mean, it's plain simple.
You hit a school like that, and you hit them with the death penalty. Ohio State, USC, Bama, Texas. You go on. All those top schools are gonna be like, okay, you know what? Like this isn't a game.
No,
the NCAA's because they're losing credibility with some of the things the schools are doing, and it makes the NCAA look horrible.
I mean, let's be honest, they've lost credibility a lot. But yeah, I see what you're saying, but they lost credibility a long time ago. But I mean, they need to gain the faith in the boosters that actually spend their money the right way, and fans alone. I mean, just slam them, hammer them, give them the death penalty, and college football will survive without Miami playing for a year. Trust me.
I hear how people are like, I don't think they should give them death penalty. That'll ruin the school. I'm like, well, when's it gonna end? When do you? I think they should get it. I think they need to get it.
I think they're going to get it. So that's coming from me for what it's worth. But I think they're going to get it absolutely. I've been watching college football for a long time, and they need, if anybody needs to get punched in the face, not a slap in the hand, it's the University of Miami. So that's my take on that. You got anything else to touch on? We'll take a quick break if you don't.
No, I agree with that. They need it. I think they need it not just for college football, but for college sports in general. Show basketball schools, baseball schools.
Absolutely, they hammer the whole school. I mean, the whole program.
It's happened. It's happened 5 times ever.
So it's going to happen again. I'll tell you that right now. I love it. I do, and I have no beef with the University of Miami.
Really?
I don't. I mean, yeah, but it's just that it needs to happen. But all right, we're gonna what?
No, go ahead.
Okay, we're gonna take another break. We're gonna come back and talk a little baseball, and we will after baseball we'll wrap this up. So we'll be right back.